Well, hello. We are here for episode 2 of Greater Shores, our second Neophyte Chronicles series. Hi, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. We're here again. It's been a minute. It was icy in Carbondale, and that made the entire town shut down because we don't know how to work a snowplow.
This is true.
Carbondale confirmed.
Not going to learn either. Ever.
No, that's... What do you think this is, a school? Christ. So we're back, and it's been a minute since our last episode. So it's sort of a short recap. You all washed up on a strange beach. The eternal storm that bordered your home continent, always to the west, is now to your east. You met two sort of strange companions. Gentleman by the name of Lakoff, sort of an older-looking man, reminded Yev of her father in a few years, but
extremely shady. Do not like.
But wearing just like heavy plate armor, but moving with sort of like a really shocking deftness. And his shape-shifting animal companion Saul, who over the course of a single bound might sprout wings as soon as he needs a prehensile tail. The six of you settled in after awakening to a nice meal of roasted crab and took about scavenging the beach for supplies from your wrecked ship. And we had a little look at what everyone was up to before your ship went under. And now we come back, and our players with, I think it was a nat 20 from Calagon, if I'm not mistaken. Total 20. I swore there was, maybe I was too generous.
I rolled good, and then I had some people help, and then I cheated. Oh, that's just a shit ton.
Right. It was the cheating.
Always with the cheating.
You all ended up getting equipment back up to your starting equipment. So you guys are well supplied.
Can you make that to the camera?
We're off to such a good start.
Yes, we are.
The energy is fantastic.
5 of our last 9 governors are felons.
And with our
We're
luck,
so proud.
The 6th can also be one.
Alexis, our future governor, also very likely to be a felon.
Reining it in. We're now over the campfire. You guys are sort of settling in for the night, and I had prompted our players to kind of be thinking about what your character is thinking about Awash on this new place, separated from home, whether it's a windfall or a tragedy. And honestly, I think we can go around the table here. Let's start with John T. Travolta. Did we start with you for the flashback?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's start over here. And let's go, name, race, physical description, and kind of what you're spending these sort of downtime after coming to. What's your take on the rest of the party? Where are your thoughts?
Okay, so we're on the beach with Lakoff. Mm-hmm. We've enjoyed some crab.
That's your call.
That's my call. Whatever, enjoyed the crab.
You've consumed
I
some
enjoyed
degree.
the crab.
You enjoyed the crab? Yeah.
I did enjoy the crab.
Did you make this known?
I'm kind
Blackoff looks a little...
Right, he's like asking if I liked it.
But try not to.
But try not to, yeah. No, you know what? I like Blackoff. Mm-hmm. I don't like him as much as you do.
You better not.
Yeah.
Right back into it.
But I like him, so I'm like, this is good crab, man. Yeah. I'm enjoying this crab. I'm enjoying the company. Yeah. I am a herring gun, I don't know how to pronounce that, and a petty thief, and what was I doing on the ship? Am I telling what I did on the ship, or just saying what I do right now?
Both is fine.
A little bit of both.
You were, you had gotten a job, gotten a straight gig. You were, slinging some cards.
I sure was.
Picking some pockets.
Yes, I was.
And you're having a good time.
I was having a very good time, and the fact that I'm banded together with this gang of ruffians, and there's no one really to steal from.
Yeah.
has like really taken the wind out of my sails. Like I just like can't like.
Fucking donate more pants. More
Yeah.
pockets.
Oh yeah, I'm Donald Ducking it too.
You are
That's
Donald. I was
important
going to say
remember.
physical
God
description.
damn it.
So you're a rabbit
It's not-
foot.
I'm a rabbit. Right.
Can't
You know,
pickpocket
you're a
Donald Duck.
Herringon.
That's what. That's yeah. That's what. That's
the
my
official
method.
term.
That's what, yeah, exactly. You can't pickpocket me, but I can pickpocket you.
Yes.
There
Really.
it is.
This is what the American Medical
Pragmatic.
Association
Yes.
But
the
no, yeah,
American
you're
way.
you're a rabbit folk. Donald ducking
Yeah,
it.
that's
Those are the
Yes.
important. But yeah, and your haul, your loot is gone.
Yes.
You know, you really
Yes.
just you're stuck with clothes on your back, and I mean resurveying the beach. You guys got lucky with a lot of food. You got your sort of plain clothes or an approximation back. You know, there's kind of the bulk bits of equipment in case the ship ever got attacked by pirates. Like there's a few swords if you have a sword. It's a few instruments if you play instruments. No particularly interesting one, but kind of like basic stuff. And you got food,
Yeah.
but the treasure isn't there.
The treasure just isn't there,
Yeah.
you know. And so I think my mind is kind of wandering. Like I'm like, what's my next con gonna be? Like, what pocket am I gonna pick next? You know, which is kind of like I like the whole Lakoth scene, but I'm looking for some crimes to commit.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think out of all the party, is there anyone like? Do you see a mark? Do you see anyone that's gonna enable you?
I see people that could definitely enable me for sure.
Really?
Yes. Surprisingly. I don't see a mark here though. I mean, I can't pull one over on these people, but
Do you
these
feel
beings.
like fostering any sort of, because we can, do you talk to anyone in particular? Do you feel like fostering any sort of connections?
I feel like Maggie, remind me of your name.
Kels.
I feel like Kels is kind of like exactly kind of like eggs me on, like Kels, what's Kels's pronouns?
She, her.
She's very mischievous and she's a lovely cat. Seems very nice. But it's that mischief that kind of makes me want to get up to shit.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, maybe you could do this, and I'm like, well, maybe I will. You know? Maybe I will pick that pocket.
So
but
what
there's
have
no
you,
pockets to pick. So.
what kind of things have you been getting up to this evening? With that
um,
sort of dynamic.
That vibe.
Kels, does that track? Do you think that's does that even clock on your radar, or are you just kind of egging everyone on?
I'm just hanging out, having a good time.
Yeah.
I think you are, but I think what's happening for John T. Travolta is that he's you're mischievous. You did all this cool shit on the ship. You got people to obey you, and you were just this random cat. Right? I wanna know about that. I wanna learn from you. How did you do that? And if you tell me to do something, I'll fucking do it because I wanna learn from you. So you're hanging out, you're vibing. I respect that. But I'm very intrigued by the fact that you were able to pull this thing off on the ship.
And it's not quite Oberon to lack off, but there's maybe some.
Oh, it's not. No,
heel
yeah.
biting.
No. It's not like that at all. It's more I respect you.
Mm-hmm.
Of everyone here, I think everyone here is very cool and interesting. I just like the fact that you were able to trick people into doing some shit. And so I want to learn about that. I want to form an alliance.
Respect it.
You're very
The
respected.
most respected little kitty cat on the beach.
Yeah.
A respectable cat. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna go around, but you gave me a segue. So let's jump over to Kels. We have your name, but give me your race, your physical description. How have you been spending this sort of downtime?
So Kels is a little kitty cat.
Mm-hmm.
She is 5 feet tall, which is definitely not a lie. 100% factual. Currently, she's decked out in a bunch of the jewelry that she took from one of the chests that she scavenged.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about.
Somehow it made its
Yeah.
way to you, and everyone's fine with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Did she find another cloak in the chest?
I think
It was
yeah.
full- it was
I
full of clothing.
I
yeah.
totally honor what I said last time, which is any sort of basic equipment up to a slightly unreasonable amount, you got. So if you want to go 5 cloaks deep, go 5 cloaks deep. Like
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's
I think one for now is
One,
enough.
okay. You just let me know though.
Okay. All right, 1, maybe 2, anywhere between 0 and 2.
Okay.
Cloaks.
Noted. I'm done.
Yes, she has been napping, mostly.
Mm-hmm. And
Full
like
of
out of
crap.
any of the party, who have you been talking to, or who are you most interested in?
No one.
Yeah, really on your own. So even like John, like is that? Are you noticing the same kind of like admiration or interest, or does it just not even register to you?
I have been sensing that this group of people
Mhm.
is about to be on their way to someplace else. So I'm not necessarily interested in forming a lasting rapport with them. They seem like fun people. I'm super into it.
Yeah.
Love the vibes happening right now, guys.
Yeah.
However, mostly interested in taking naps.
Yeah. And like, so where's Kels hoping you wind up, either as a group or individually? And how much interest do you have in steering that trajectory? Or are you just kind of like, I'm along for the ride, I think it'll be interesting?
That is a card she's gonna keep close to her chest.
Okay. But like player to GM, like what's the...
You're confident.
You'll figure it out, Matt.
All right, everybody, plug your ears.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll
Reserve your
crack
right
you,
to
yeah.
counsel.
Maggie
I'll
meta
crack you,
knowledge.
yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
So, let's move to Juniper. Same
Right.
questions, well, Juniper Blue. Race, physical description, kind of where you are. Have you made any connections? How are you feeling about your current position?
All right, so I am an Azamar, is my race, and I'm a sorcerer, which is my class. I have cocoa skin. I wear my hair up mostly. I have like a little hair wrap that I wear occasionally. I'm cloaked most times. I've been targeted before, so I want to blend in when I can. I'm pretty personable when you get to know me, but otherwise quite shy because I have my own things going on. I have my own missions going on, and if I'm not moving toward that, I'm wasting time.
Yeah. And so do you think like your pretty standard outfit, like you washed up in waterlogged rags, right? You went through hell. Have you like gotten back up to your usual outfit, or are you sort of embracing the like everyone's kind of seen me?
I'm not there yet. I'm still partially cloaked. My cloak is a little tattered, yes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't call it rags, but it is torn. So
Totally.
I think eventually I'll look for another one within the luggage.
Yeah.
But I have a conduit that's close to me. I don't want people to see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm still cloaked.
Which did thankfully stay on your person during the through whatever forces. Yeah.
I've been practicing my spells. I'm a loner mostly.
What
But
kind
I-
of spells have you been practicing? You give me a threat, I'm gonna jump on
On
it.
the beach, just raising the dead.
Okay. Okay.
Have you practiced find loot?
I would like for us to have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds good.
Are my cantrips
Find
also
loot.
spells?
Yeah. And as a quick reminder to everyone, the way spells work in D&D, your cantrips are like your level 0 spells. You just know them, they're a part of you. You don't need to expend spell slots or energy or your points or anything. Cantrips are just like, I'm just like doing that. I'm just minor illusioning,
It can be absolutely annoying.
Yeah.
Relentlessly annoying with your cantrips. That's what
The gold.
Yeah.
I have been practicing Shape of Water because I've been also exploring a little bit,
Yeah.
The Shape of Water allows me to like move water.
It's a good
I would say,
not
yeah,
like
you
the
could
movie.
like.
Yeah, I-
that.
Find a man, romance him.
Practicing Shape of Water, I was
It's
like,
still on the table, but
That's the good end of this campaign.
I would say like even
But I don't wanna
after,
The camera sees everything.
what a judge.
Yes. GM.
even after.
You can fuck fish. It's fine with me. It's none of my business.
I don't judge.
I just had a small reaction.
Oh, the
I'm fine.
movie. Oh.
Why would we ever judge? You know? Yeah, no, like even you know, you're at a beachfront. If that's how you're kind of calming, passing time, changing the form of water and moving and examining some of the beach, like that's totally. I think that's fine.
Trying to
Have you
explore my
kind of
areas.
positioned yourself to be alone from everyone?
I take time to decompress from people when then I come back because
Yeah.
I do think everyone's interesting. I notice everyone for who
Yeah.
they are, what
Better.
they do. Exactly. And the goat. What's your name? What is
Dare
it?
you?
I'll say, give me a history check.
History check?
Roll a d20.
Roll to
Give me a
remember
history
names.
check. Yeah, you guys all just met. You've been through hell. I don't know how much room for names there was on this beachhead, or if you guys were just like, well, guess we gotta get to it.
You just innately know my name.
We have
Offended.
goat
You
house
were
screams,
on
we
the
have pants,
poster.
rabbit,
on the
cat.
poster.
11.
Yeah.
11. You know his name is Oberon, but you know he always goes by his full name.
I do.
And you don't know. So I think you've been also trying to say it less because you don't want to say a shortened version. And so even
Just mumble.
Oberon is like, you're
mumble.
forgetting it. You can't quite remember who that is.
That sounds very accurate.
Hey, you buddy.
Hey, bro.
So I notice everyone. I don't have the details of who everyone is.
Yeah.
I can get like their general character. I feel bad about John T's eye, and I didn't
Yeah.
look for their
Oh,
eye.
yeah, that's right.
So I feel
Yeah.
bad about it. But they have their eye now, but I still feel guilty.
Right at the end, just
Thank
kind
you.
of clutch. It was
Yeah.
on, yeah.
I could have did more. I could have did more there.
As a reminder, John
Yes.
lost his magic. No, it's not magic. Is
It is. It's
It
my.
is magic.
It's my
It's your spellcasting
magical object.
focus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Of a false eye.
Yes.
We lost another spellcastic focus, but we'll get to that. And at the last minute, kind of trudging up the beach, you had that sudden windfall. I think it was with an Arcana check or some sort of help. You were able to identify like quite literally a needle in a haystack on the beach. So, yeah. So there's definitely something there.
Yeah. So, like I said, I feel bad about John T, but
Mhm.
I think they're interesting. I know that they like to pickpocket. I don't think they're gonna pickpocket me.
No.
Yeah.
So
Your pockets are quite empty.
they are.
and
They
soggy.
are. They
You're
are.
also another person I'd be like, oh, I'm intrigued. I want to form the line. It's like, what's going on with Juniper? Because you're casting these spells, like, and
You got-
moving,
can you see
shape
me?
shifting
Can you
things.
see? Do they see me
I-
cast these
can
spells?
I would say you didn't make a mention to
Oh, never mind.
hide. Well, I was gonna say you didn't really mention that you're like going down the beach. I would say, you know, from what you told me, it's not a thought in your head, and you just kind of walk down to the waterfront and are shaping water to just pass the time, flex a little bit, right? Maybe it's a little meditative. I don't think you've gone out of anybody's sort of vision. And you know, where you all come from, magic is not like uncommon particularly. Like not everyone can do it, and everyone can do it for a variety of different reasons, but it's not like wild that you just started like moving the water around. And you didn't mention it, so I would say you're just kind of down by the waterfront, plain view of everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't, in general, I don't mind your lines at all, John T. I think they're interesting too.
Thank you.
And I'm also gravitating towards Calagon because they seem to be their own person. They have their own drive.
Yeah. Yeah, Calagon did sort of lead the salvaging. My words just shot, but like projects,
Right.
like initiative.
That sounds right.
There's a Coast Guard-esque term that I'm looking for that's gonna strike me in the middle of the night and I'm gonna wake up in a cold sweat. But this sort of the beach salvaging. Well, and let's go ahead. Let's go to Calagon. You did sort of take a leadership role. Do you kind of continue with that now that you guys have recovered some items? You have food. You're taking a rest. Do you sit back, or like I would say some eyes are on you to call a shot.
It's probably not. Doesn't bode well for us.
Yeah.
I cast my cantrip, 50 Shades of Grey, and engulf the party, and never mind. Yeah, just enjoying some crab and thinking about where we are. My initial mode on the ship was to try and observe people, other people, strangers. That's sort of the phase of life that he's at. Is he's just curious. He's been in his tiny tribe and his tiny little circle of people for his whole life, and so every city is just filled, like everybody's interesting compared to spending 20 years with your mom and your siblings and stuff.
And is that like particularly who your thoughts drift back to? Is your immediate family, or?
Sort of, in the sense that he's wondering where we are. He's the sort of person who's lived in the wilderness his whole life. He spent some time as a soldier, functioning for his people as a scout, wilderness scout. He always knows where north is. He doesn't right now.
Yeah.
That's
severe,
causing him to have more anxiety about the environment than he does curiosity about the people. Otherwise he'd be like, yeah, me and my new friends going down the shore to get crabs together.
Do you think he's kind of like Calagon? Like, are you stewing in that, or you have this resource in Lakoff who seems, affable.
Calagon's impression of Lakoff is that he's not necessarily a danger, but that he's completely full of shit.
Yeah.
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 He has
despite that, do you have any interest in trying
he has like a mega history PhD vibe.
Yeah.
Like he knows things, but he ain't gonna tell you.
Yeah.
So Calagon's wondering if he's had some basic education in magic. He's wondering if we're in the same dimension, if we're in the same realm. He's wondering if we're dead.
Yeah.
When
do you want to give me either? I keep bumping the camera. Either an Arcana or a Nature check, whichever one you think Calagon would be drawn to.
He's pretty potato with nature checks. But sure, he'll roll a nature check.
Okay.
That's 15.
15 plus
total.
what? 15 total. Yeah, like you said, you always know where north is, despite being sort of potato at nature checks. You know your home, you know your immediate area, and you've traveled, right? Maybe you haven't taken the closest look at every rock and tree.
Yeah, it could just be turned around.
Yeah, he could just be turned around. But the fact that you are seeing the royal from a different angle has you like a pit in your stomach every time you think about it. I would say Calagon is even trying to avoid confronting that fact.
He's thinking he may be in some sort of mid-death hallucination,
Yeah.
When you're wearing a noose, there's a lifetime between the slip and the crack.
Yeah, we've all been there. We all know.
Have we though?
that common metaphor, that common
Wouldn't you like
sense.
Wouldn't you like to know what it is?
All freaking me out.
You're dead.
Fine.
Yeah. It's not bad, right? Could be worse.
How liberating.
Cool. And physical description of Calagon.
He's a 7-foot lizard man with black scaly skin and a dragon-like, tyrannosaur-like, kind of oversized head, but he's very physically powerful.
Yeah.
And because of that, you sense that he's sort of a overcompensatingly clumsy. Like, he might be clumsy, but he's used to being so big and breaking things while being amongst humans and other races that he's very slow and thoughtful about how he moves.
Gotcha.
Both to not
And-
scare people and not break things.
Tactful. And what is he wearing out of this sort of salvage stuff?
I mean, he actually has armor and pants or like a guarding kilt and stuff. I'm not Donald. talking out here.
What a shame.
I think we should move so no one
It's
in the
even-
party wears pants.
I was gonna say it's even more liberating than death.
I want to see my nether regions. You're gonna have to earn it.
We're starting a
Thanks, Cal.
commune. Pants are pants.
This is where you make the face again. It's the camera.
I got some faces. Right?
We'll just like
Yes, you do.
lose the Neophyte Chronicles logo just in the sort of like Disney short, right? Like round spotlight.
God, I don't think you want that. I've cut our viewers in half. We're down to one.
Yeah. Oberon, we've mentioned you a couple times.
Sure have.
So go ahead and give me. Always jump at that opportunity. You're there, man. You're there. What what does Oberon look like? What's he up to? Yeah.
Well, right now he's a very sad goat boy.
Mm-hmm.
He has lost his beloved loot that was given to him by his now deceased master.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's not doing great. As for appearance, he's a satyr, 6 feet, like pretty slim, completely naked. So, Donald ducking it all the way.
Well, like
Bugs Bunnying
reverse,
it if you want.
presumably. Yeah, with the fur. It's
Yeah,
kinda,
I have fur. It's covering everything because
Yeah.
I'm like a goat,
Yeah.
but like I'm not wearing anything.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not doing too great. Probably
Very liberal beach party.
extremely
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So right now I'm just like probably rocking back and forth with my really really shitty just loot
Yeah.
That I
you
got.
found.
that we found.
Are you playing at all?
I'm mending it. I'm casting mend loot quite a lot.
Yeah. Trying to tweak it, get it right.
yeah.
How's it sounding?
Terrible.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I literally want to die right now.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
And so in that sort of like absolute devastation, I mean, you're also awash in a strange place surrounded by strangers. A few, I presume, you recognize from around the ship.
Yeah.
Not in any particular, but like you saw them. Aside from the loot, where is your thoughts drifting?
Right now, I'm trying to figure out who I can attach myself to that seems powerful, so they can protect me, because I'm a little weak goat boy that needs protection.
Yeah.
So at first I went towards Lackoff, because
Yeah.
he seemed to be the one that's like most in charge.
He
most.
just seems confused.
I mean, I don't blame him,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't care.
Yeah, no, you keep trying.
Yeah.
No, he's
I'm
just
gonna-
he's being pleasant. He's
Yeah.
not like offended or angry. He's just
Good.
like, it's just like
I
not.
wouldn't care if he was. I would,
Whatever gets me there.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm attaching myself very much to him. I'm kind of sensing that we're not going to be here forever. So I'm kind of like seeing the party, like who can I like attach myself to? Who seems to be the most like in charge and the most willing to do everything for me?
Yeah. And who do you kind of? What's your list? If you were to give me a short list of your top 3.
Oh God. Probably number 1 would be Calagon,
Yeah.
because he kind of organized the whole search party thing. So I'm like, oh, leadership, I need that.
Yeah.
But
But he doesn't seem very personable.
no,
Yeah.
but I don't care.
Right.
Everybody's-
Right. I always forget. That's always the
Everybody's
thing I
personable
miss.
when they got a greasy bag of samosas.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a little behind the scenes.
Yeah, I can be a greasy bag of samosa.
Jesus.
Changing your contact info on my phone.
Yep. Yep. I'm gonna
Good
write your
picture.
tombstone. We're there, buddy. Who's number 2 on the list?
What's your name again?
Yeah.
Yev,
Mm-hmm.
because they were a chef, and that means they were in charge of things.
Yes,
My
chef.
authority.
Yes, chef.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I told you we're getting Gordon Ramsay and Roombas and everything.
No, I just binged the bear. I'm ready to say yes.
Ah.
And who's your number 3?
Probably Cal, because she seems to somehow always get what she wants.
There's a magnetism there.
There is.
An unstated magnetism.
I want that.
Yeah.
I know that they're not gonna like do anything for me, but I feel like if I'm near them, I can learn from them.
Yeah.
To get what I want.
I think that's very astute, and in between the watery goat tears, and the loot mending and playing a little bit and putting it down, trying again. I think you've made a pretty sort of accurate pass over your companions. So I guess the last question is where, and you might have already answered this, I'm realizing, but where do you see yourself moving next? What's kind of your next goal here?
My next goal would be, I'm always going to want to kind of stay in the area until we find my loot. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm going to get outvoted though. So if I so if I were to leave, I would prefer to go towards somewhere where there's a lot of people that can surround me and make me feel better about the fact that I no longer have my prized loot.
Absolutely.
So probably like a city or something.
Yeah. Well, and with that, let's bump over to Yevgeniya. Yevgeniya Velokova.
Oh, it was in Cyrillic. He got the cheat sheet. It could have been uglier.
It would have been. I wouldn't have attempted. Or Yev.
Yes, I made things easy.
So same question. We know your name now, but physical description and where's your head?
Yeah, tiefling, like light hypothermia, kind of blue, dark hair, dark eyes. Chef, at least on the ship.
Yeah.
I'm doing such a good job of acting inconspicuous, so that's the main goal.
I'd say among this group,
so
nobody's
far, it's been
really
working,
focused on you.
Yeah,
the big personalities have come out, and you've been able to sort of step back.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Don't really trust the man on the beach, just because the virtue of him being a hermit, wandering on the beach, that's kind of antithetical to my interests here.
Yeah.
Tried to help the goat man find his loot, tanked his loot, didn't like it. The goat for goat solidarity is out. It ended. Help was unmet with kindness, so now
Everybody gets one.
Yeah, exactly. So in general, I have no real thoughts about the team, just that we're washed up together, and that's fine. I did roll fairly high on noticing that we're past the royal. So on one hand, that does mean something in regards to tightness surrounding secrets of, the world might be gone. So I may have just lost a lot of obligations, but still defaulting to caginess by default of trying to look inconspicuous and get things done and kind of eke out what our next move should be. I asked what's his face about water, where he found water and so survive. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think he gave me kind of a bullshit answer, but survivability odds to keep moving and kind of get things going. When the sun's up, I'm finding a way out.
Yeah. No matter what, you're off.
Pretty much.
Cool. And where, because you are on a beachhead, that you guys are, you could say facing kind of southwest, facing the ocean. So if you were to take off, where would you go?
I believe he mentioned a city and a college. I'm probably more towards the city.
Yeah.
But wherever there is civilization.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, with that, and if anybody has a scene or a particular interaction with each other they want to run, or have any questions for Lackoff, now is the time for that.
I have some questions for Lackoff.
Yeah, shoot.
How long have you been here, Lack?
How long have I been here? This beach?
This peninsula.
He looks a little distant. I spent most of my life traveling around here. There is God, my notes. This long until I stumble. I'm so sorry, world. I had names for things and my notes are gone. Well, they're not gone. I'm just bullshitting for time. He mentions, he was born in the Central Ilarian Empire and at a very young age came to the peninsula, doesn't really specify why, and just kind of stayed, wandered, found his place here, found his calm and his comfort. Met Saul, and they've been traveling. He doesn't really know how long, but it's been you could say probably decades, comfortably, but more than that, he doesn't really seem to know or want to communicate.
I have a couple more questions.
Yeah, please.
What can kill me here?
Okay.
Like if I walk out into like the forest, are there poisonous things?
We got bears and wolves and all sorts of things. There's a few sort of fey touch creatures that'll sooner lock you in a lantern for a century than eat your flesh. But it's and then there's the elves. It's not the safest to travel around here alone. There's some folks that really don't like guests in the woods. But others, I've got friends that are very pleasant, very friendly. So it varies, but it depends where you travel.
And the city?
The city, Easton Port. What would you like to know about it?
What can kill me there?
What can kill you there? Well, depends how good you are at gambling. It's a little rough, but it's safe. Are you used to worrying about your life? Is that
Well, we just washed up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you not have cities where you're from? Are they
I can't speak.
horrible, dangerous places?
Oh, yes.
Wow, my God. No, I mean it's relatively safe. I mean the Easton, right, functions as sort of a port city between the Empire and Solkard College, right? So there's not people there are busy, right? There's not a lot of sort of the petty crime you'd find in the mainland. No one's hard up there. Everyone's got something to be doing. So, I mean, again, unless you run foul of the wrong person, start the wrong kind of debt, and don't make your way into the woods in a timely fashion, you'll be fine.
If it's so okay there, then why are you here?
I don't like people so much.
Do you want us to leave?
No, you all are interesting, and Easton folk don't really make their way down to Solkard's Rut. Y'all are different too. I'm happy to offer a meal, and I don't intend on staying with y'all for very long.
Can you?
If you need protection, perhaps, if you need a guide, but I have my own business. You have yours, and I'm sorry. Where?
Do you have business? I don't have business.
I have some business. Interesting. Yeah.
See? Yeah.
Yeah, business.
Yev gets it. I'm sorry. Did you have anything else you wanted to ask?
Who's your leader? Who is the leader? Not your leader, but who's the leader of this
The little
peninsula?
creature that's following you around.
What?
The peninsula.
The peninsula. Well, it's
Like, are there government?
Empire is in charge, but the college really kind of runs things. They it's I don't know where y'all are from, but if you haven't heard of Solkard, I find that very surprising. It's the college trains wizards, hopeful from the Empire, come through and make a pilgrimage and hope to be trained and find seats and work in the Empire. So officially the Empire is in charge, but they've left behind sort of a group of elves that are more aligned with their values, and they are technically the the political authority of the region, but the college itself, largely, the way he lays it out, is in control of things. What's going on here serves their needs, and they serve the Empire.
We
So
should go to the college.
it's a little reactive, but there's independent groups. Yeah.
Thank you, Lack, and your crab is delicious. Nice and
Thank you.
buttery. It's fresh.
He's not used to receiving a compliment. Like he just like stuck a sword in it and jammed it in the fire. He knows
I
good
was noticing
cooking.
the lack of seasoning.
Yeah, and he's like, thank you. Yeah.
Best crab I've ever had.
Yeah. All right, that's too kind, please. So does anybody else have any questions or a player scene they want to run or anything, or are we cool to kind of settle in for a good night's sleep here?
I call a group huddle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
not a guy. I get you.
No,
And he,
so
come on,
kind.
Saul, and he.
We just need to have like a family meeting.
Yeah. He just sort of walks off maybe 40 odd feet down the beach and sits on a rock and just like tosses and plays fetch with Saul. Like he could probably hear you, but he's doing his best to be like, this is great. Like I got, so you guys have relative privacy.
All right. Well, I don't try to hide my voice at all.
Yeah.
What the hell is he talking about?
First of all, who the fuck are you?
Me? That's not important. What college? I've never heard of this place in my life.
Neither have I.
But does it matter that we haven't heard of it?
Yes, I was a college recruiter for 20. No,
I recruited people from this college. It's a Division III school.
my people don't get out much, but one of the few things we do is stay in contact with a lot of different wizard schools and arcane universities.
Yeah.
So it surprises me that I haven't heard of it. But it doesn't mean.
I'm somewhat familiar with elves. I mean, my master was an elf before he died tragically. So I know kind of what they're about. They're not very nice people. I don't recommend them. They're very boring.
I don't feel safe here. I don't trust it. Don't trust the college. Trust Lack. He seems pretty cool, but that's about it. I want to get off the island if I can.
I'll take first watch.
I'll take second.
Well, good night, everyone.
You all don't trust the environment, don't trust each other. Yeah.
Kels, fine.
Classic family meeting.
Yeah. Break.
Literally don't know any of these people.
As you all kind of separate off, is there any one-on-one or anything, or are you all comfortable just settling in and picking up in the morning?
I think Oberon and Lakoff should have a one-on-one real quick.
Yes.
Just hash it out.
Yeah, just like settling down a teen, like, look,
Yeah.
I get it, but like this is weird, bad. Like, just don't.
Or maybe Lakoff is like, I don't know,
Yeah.
Try.
He
Give it
seems
a
very
try.
lonely.
We could all step out if you just want.
Yeah, you guys
We'll leave the
wanna-
cameras on though.
Yeah. No, I think what's done is done.
Fair enough.
And you all settle in as comfortable as you can make it. I mean, there's fucking like torn sails, wrapped up in equipment. You find a piece of a mast. There's enough there that anybody who wants to put in the effort of like coming up with bedding or like a tent or some sort of privacy could do it. And I mean, you guys are welcome to like spread across the beach, but it's not a particularly cold night, but it's nice by the fire. And if nobody has any secrets, so I mean, Lakoff settles in with Saul. He pulls some equipment from the tree line, just kind of like a small pack, and lays out like just fur like bedroll and lays down on that. He undoes some of his plate armor, which takes a while. And not even all of it, just some larger pieces, so he's more comfortable laying down and just pleasantly settles in and says, I'm glad you all pulled through. See you in the morning.
I find some clothes from the wreckage. Find like another cloak. I think it's gonna be like a heather green kind of color. Find a bag.
Yeah. And you have mend, right?
I do, yes.
So if anybody wants to take advantage of that and fix any of their pieces, or put any holes together or anything, Oberon's kind of your go-to.
My goat too.
Your go-to. God damn it! How did I miss that?
Hurts.
But with that, let's just take a quick inventory. What's everyone thinking of where they want to head? Let's start this side with Oberon. Where's the direction you're being pulled in?
So I want to ultimately end up in the college, the university, because it's full of powerful people, and I want to influence them as much as I can. However, I don't think we're in a great position to go there yet and to make a good impression. Yeah. So it might be best to go to the city first, get some supplies, get some money, meet some people, get some connections going on, and then go to the university.
Absolutely. Kel?
This is fine. I think Lakoth is a little bit nutty, and I think that he is confused about the geographical situation that we're in. I am hesitant to go anywhere densely populated.
Yeah.
In case I run into people who might recognize me. However, I also don't have any strong plans. And this seems like a fun group, so I'm willing to go along with it. Yeah.
Yev, are you being pulled in a particular direction?
I'm more interested in the city than the college, but I'm not opposed to either.
Gotcha. We're just getting an error message on our it disappeared. I swear to God, I'm not gaslighting everyone.
It's
might have dropped for a second.
the library's bit rate.
Totally. Then we're golden. Calagon, where are you feeling?
Nearest civilization, but if the entire group goes around whatever's nearest, I'll probably stick with him.
Yeah.
I just want to get some accurate bearings from something other than a solitary Looney Tune.
Yeah, no, you think for sure if there's a port city that you can find some ground
Cartographer, talk to a ship's navigator, talk to just anybody who.
And from Lakoth's description, it's kind of this commerce hub of the region, so that would be a safe bet. Juniper, what is she thinking?
I'm feeling good now that I have this new cloak and a bag, so I know that I can kind of blend in.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around too many people, but I'm going to explore the city, but stay away from the real intense magic.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get off of this island, so wherever I can find information to do that, I'm open to explore those options. Where's my train of thought? But I'm open to finding more about myself if the opportunity arises.
Absolutely. And John?
Yeah, I really am thirsty for a mark.
Yeah.
I want money and I want it now. I want influence and I want it now.
Yeah, this is boring.
This is so boring. We're just here eating crab. The crab's great, don't get me wrong. But oh my God, when's something gonna fucking happen?
Yeah.
So city, college, whatever, I'm down for that.
Cool. Well, and with that, you'll get a fairly restful sleep. Being unconscious for several days does not match, a restful kind of nighttime circadian rhythm enhancing sort of event in your life. So you're all feeling okay. In the morning, it's another opportunity to take inventory of your wounds that have stuck around. None of you are severely wounded somehow, but you're a little banged up, a little uncomfortable. And with that, into the next day, Lakoth is already up. He's got crab on the spit, all raring to go. Again, for an elderly looking man in heavy plate armor, the dude is silent as a ghost. It's insane. So he probably did 100 things this morning, and he's raring to go, and he's just got the crab. And as you all wake, start to have another meal here, and between that and your rations that you found preserved food, he sits with you all. And so where would you have me take you? I've no intention of staying around for very long, but I would be happy to help you all through where you need to go, get your bearings, and I'm happy to be on my way.
Has any of the washed up paper dried? Like, has there been any? Do you think that
Paper?
Yeah. Odds of him being able to draw us a map.
Oh, odds of him being able to draw you a map. You guys have cloth.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have, I don't know about writing it. Maybe you could use...
Stain something?
Here's what I'm going to say, because I just
Crab
figured
blood?
it out.
The travel from the.
I don't know.
Yes.
It's time to find out.
Thank you. So
You're
Juniper
good.
nailed it.
You're good.
Juniper, like, absolutely nailed it. You guys have charcoal. You guys have charcoal there and cloth. There's no paper. You have wood charcoal and cloth. Like,
Cool.
that's what you got. So you'd have to be pretty careful with it and keep it somewhere safe that it doesn't get smudged. But unless somebody has some sort of like spell or ability that could help in this situation, but it's cartography. I don't know like a ton of off the top of my head of what would be super relevant. But on the off chance you're like, oh yeah, I have make a map. Cool. Okay. Well, yeah, you can draw it out. Who wants to take this responsibility? I'll say it'll be a sleight of hand check, and if somebody has
I have +3.
if somebody has a high intelligence, I'll let you help by kind of like hovering over the shoulder. But you need a deft hand and a clever mind to put this guy's ramblings into like a meaningful composition. So who wants to draw the map? Who's like, yeah, no, this is me. I got it. When you all come up with this
We
idea.
can't make him draw it.
You can make him draw it. Absolutely. Yeah, you want
it
him to
makes
draw
more
it?
sense for him to draw it than for like us to listen to him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Someone want to pass me a marker? I feel like we might as well use the resource.
Oh yeah.
Go run. I'll go run. Thank you. So when Lackoff draws it, and let's make sure this is on camera here. Oh, I'm so thrilled. He kind of like goes like that a bit, and then there's kind of like this here and this here, right? That's a building, right? It's the Sulgard kind of is like this spire with many courtyards and kind of these weird battlements attached to it, but it's this vertical kind of thing. And then there's the port is here, and the kind of seat of the elves is here, and there's a path like this, and we're kind of here.
Okay.
And that's what you get.
It's a gorgeous map.
Yeah.
Best map I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You're such a good artist.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So we have to decide if we're going to the mustard bottle cap or the worrisome mole.
Well, no. What are you saying? The Sulgard is sort of in the center of the region, and the port, which this one anybody want to give me an intelligence check to decipher this before I go further?
Not my forte.
I'll try.
It's like a DC 12 to get some good information. I would say it's like an 18.
Statistically unlikely.
I'm stupid.
17.
17.
No bonus.
What's kind of the highest here?
9.
5. I
Five.
got nothing.
Okay, is 17 the highest?
Oh my
20.
God, we're
That's
so
natural 20.
Oh,
stupid.
fuck. Okay, yeah. So you're something about your sort of like empathetic nature just pierces this man, and you're able to coax the information out of him. So you learn. I'm so thrilled because I can just info dump. You learn a lot more than what this map would offer you, and through like really patient conversation, which you all fade in and out of. He
Just like
really, you ask questions of like, oh, what's next to that, and how does that get to there, and things like that, and you coax a good amount of information out of him. So you learn that this sort of trail between Easton and the Sulcard College is called Scholar's Trail, and it's a little perilous. To the northwest there is that sort of elven refuge, which by design of the, and I'm gonna get my names right as I go through this here, Alarian, Alarian Empire is nameless. It's just a collection. It's just a settlement. It's been without title. But the region surrounding these that covers everything, and I know I'm making it worse. It's all dense forest. It's all dense forest, and you have sort of a beachhead here as well, and a mountain range to the north, where this continues off into the rest of the continent. So the peninsula proper kind of goes up into this mountain range. That keeps them up. So that's why sea travel is taken off, and that place is much more. Easton sees a lot more travel than anyone through the mountains. He tells you they're fairly dangerous. The forest itself is divided by the Scholar's Trail, and what you all will inevitably pass through is the southern forest, where there's more kind of almost guerrilla factions of elves that had resistance to being folded into this sort of what's the colonialism, this colonial takeover of their region. So it can be a very dangerous place to the south, and there's this cut through, right, where they've kind of separated those that are closest to the empire and those that have sort of resisted somewhat. And through your conversation, that's kind of why he's willing to accompany you. The southern forest can be a dangerous place. There's coast, kind of like where you are, but you guys are in a particularly odd outcropping to the southeast here. This little beachhead called Sulcard's Rut, where he comes to somewhat commonly. You just like hit the jackpot. I'd say, there's one other piece, the span between the college and the mountain range, which he refers to as Emissary's Eye. That smaller section of wood is called border wood. And it's where you'll often see not those like roving bands, but Sulcardian scholars going to study the eye. So it's a little safer and meaningfully separate from the kind of more anarchic southern forest. So that's kind of how it's all laid out.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to be of help. I just, do you all come from the Empire? How did you wind up here? This isn't peculiar information. You all just, what happened?
Roll to notice judgment.
Do you make any motion to hide that?
This is a friendly hand gesture.
No,
100%. Can I roll?
No,
I have +4 in deception.
We'll
Let me
tackle
roll.
that in a minute. Do you like particularly wait until like he's one-on-one, or is that just kind of we're back in a circle and you're like, fuck this guy?
No, you're talking to each other when I
Okay, yeah. He doesn't notice. Cool. Yeah. Where were we?
Less is more sometimes. Less is more. There'll be a time where I'll share more about.
Look, I understand. Well,
we shipwrecked on the bottom end of Diaper Island. I don't know what else.
I don't think I'm familiar with that.
Your map kind of looks like a heavily laden diaper, and we landed on the kind of the worst part.
Yeah, you mean the best part.
Well, depends on your perspective. I admit that.
Okay.
But
I don't get it as long as you're happy.
I'm happy.
so,
I'm also happy.
Well, where are we headed?
Are we going to the city? Do we want to go to the city?
Yeah, were we kind of divided on that? Because I want to go to the city and the college, or the college.
Fairly, yeah, I'm in the
Now's
same boat
the
of
time.
like,
The college.
whatever's
I
closer.
Don't
Yeah.
think you guys have had too much of a significant conversation amongst each other about it. So now's the time if someone wants to step up or if somebody wants to challenge it. There's sort of a pause for a second as you all look at each other.
I mean, we have food and water. We've salvaged enough for some days of travel.
Lakoff is like packing up his stuff, kicking out the fire points. So he's
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, no,
but-
you are all plenty prepared."
We should still probably choose one of the closer locations just to ensure, like, let's say disaster, we drop a barrel of water, we're not screwed.
Yeah. Well, I've got some friends close by, but I don't think they'd like the visitors and Soul
Can I roll
Card
to see if
there.
he actually has friends?
What would you roll for that? Pitch it to me.
Investigation or perception, either. I have
Do you
plus
want
3.
either
Yeah,
one?
I don't
works.
believe him.
Yeah.
12 plus 3, 15. Does he have
For
friends?
perception or investigation.
Either. I have plus 3 for
They're
both.
both the same. Pick one.
Perception.
Perception. Yeah, with a 15 perception, you would be surprised if he was lying. When he says it, he's a little defensive. Like you can see him really thinking about what another person would react to him. Right? He's not just like fucking crazy, making it up, or talking about like the wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's talking about like sentient creatures. Who you get this sense
Known
that
acquaintances.
he's being
They're real people. Okay. He
yeah,
has real
he's
relationships
just not
with.
wanting to go into detail.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
they're probably cannibals.
yeah. Well,
Can I roll?
remains to be seen.
Can I roll a check to like?
They don't like gas. I mean,
Yeah, go ahead and do insight.
Gotcha. That's a 6? Yeah, that's a 6 plus. Not great.
What are you trying to do?
I'm
How good
rolling
is
to
Oberon's
check.
insight?
I want to check if Lakoff likes me.
Oh. Can we also roll to see if there's like a spark?
Like everyone's checking their
That's
affinity meter.
Oh no,
like,
just
yeah.
specifically between those two.
Oh,
not
specifically?
personally.
Yeah, go for it if you
That's
want.
a
Oh,
5.
I'd
I
love
got 5.
to.
So a 5 total.
Yeah.
A
What
5
is
total.
this? What are we rolling for? Like,
Insight.
insight?
Insight.
Insight.
Yeah, so with a 5 total, he's not warm to you in any
12.
way that he has any
Nice.
interest in you as a person. He's perfectly friendly,
Sure.
but he's been friendlier to Juniper, who's done less as far as you're concerned to earn his affection. When you're just like, yo, like I'm here.
Right.
Like, so yeah, it's not going good.
So I have
And
to kill Juniper.
that's an option, but something's not right. And something's not right with this guy, but you think you can still pull it off. It's just going to take some, you got to try something else.
Okay.
You're pretty confident.
Who has
Everyone
the
else?
highest to see between them?
I've got a 21 insight.
Yeah!
21 insight. Yeah, I'll just give it to the rest because you're all kind of like eyeing
Will
each
they?
other,
Won't they?
eyeing Oberon, eyeing Juniper. I almost said Uniper. And
Alter ego.
yeah, no, it's sad. Lakoff is just friendly, but like full like arm's reach, like just stranger. Like yeah, there's a cloying desperation that really makes you feel bad. Even I would say even like John and Calagon, you guys are like. Ooh. Like
I
enough to
take
pity.
I take the chance to pull Oberon aside and I say, I believe he is past mating age. I don't think it's you. I think it's him.
I can change him.
You are
Man of few words, Oberon. Focused, agile, ready.
Only thing I'm good at.
I can change. I will peel back the ravages of time. Reawaken you.
I imagine just the severe conviction in your eye. But yeah, no, so you guys have the region, you know how Oberon stacks with Lakoth. You know, he mentions he's the closest placed, he's got some people, but it's really not a reasonable idea. And he even mentions at Soulcard, it's, you know, he doesn't even want to. He'd take you to Easton and then leave. He'd take you near Soulcard and put you on your. He really wants nothing to do with them. And you know, he saw Juniper as being magical. I think he can tell you guys are packing some abilities. So he it wouldn't be a terrible idea for you all to go there. But you know, it's really an intense place the way he lays it out. It's study. They're not into taking strangers that might not know about it, right? They might not take that terribly kindly. And he kind of subtly pushes you towards just heading to Easton and getting your bearings and dropping you off, and he's on his way. You know, you can get back to the Empire. Like it's probably where you all want to go. And I don't know if you all take that offensively or not, but he thinks it's kind of the best idea.
Presents the old dichotomy. Do you trust the stranger's direction or kill him and go the other way?
The Empire is Soulguard?
Soulcard or Soulcard College or Soulcard Academy is that wizard college, wizard school in the center, and Easton Port is connected to the Alarian Empire, which is west of you all, or north if you were to pass through the mountain range. But Soulcard is almost like dead center on in this peninsula. Do you follow the instructions, or you kill the guy and go the other way? Classic conundrum.
Well, we pass through the southern region to get to Easton. There's going to be dangerous people. If we go to Soulcard, the Empire, right?
The college.
The college.
Mm-hmm.
They may not welcome us. They might try to test us or do things to us. I have no idea. Academics can be pretty cruel.
Oh my god, yeah.
So,
Take
Just
our
a
chances
quick-
with the fucking cannibal.
Let's take a quick 5. Everyone put on their best 1,000-yard stare. And,
I rolled low. I can't understand a thing on this map. I'm just kind of like, no thoughts, head empty. I'm going somewhere.
We're going diaper west.
I would say even without the map, yeah, you guys know Port
Names
College.
are just blending together in
Yeah.
and out. I'm forgetting my English. I'm
Yeah.
bilingual and have been since birth, but I'm forgetting. It's so boring. I'm forgetting my English.
Right there
It's
with you.
just map.
Well, again, if there's a strong personality, if there's a strong direction, like now's the. And I see Calagon just kind of like hanging back, but
Yeah, I take charge and say, I don't care, whatever you want to do.
yeah.
No,
to Lakoff.
No, to
Okay.
the party. My
To the
actual advice is the port offers everyone the potential path they wish to go on. To take ship back to where we were, to figure out where we are, to go next to the college, to replace a lost crucial item. Hopefully they sell fine enough loots.
I vote for that.
Should we do a last minute loot check before we go?
Luke, check.
Yeah.
Check, loot check.
Did we do
As
a
we're
pass
arguing, you're
with
like
detect
up and
magic?
down the beach.
We did. Did we do the detect magic pass? Because I feel like it's the best way to find it.
Honestly, I can't remember, and it's a new day,
I thought
so
we
the
did.
roll
Maybe
would-
we try again.
Wait, what?
Does anyone have detect magic as a spell?
I was hoping
Look at my
that.
spells.
I think I let this party go without like a detect magic and detect good and
Yeah,
evil.
well,
Detect
druid
thoughts.
cantrips.
detect thoughts,
Yeah.
so you
Detect
can read
thoughts.
surface level thoughts of somebody.
Mhm.
But yeah, no detect magic on this party.
No.
Does anybody have like a particularly high arcana, like wildly up there, like +8, +9?
+2.
So that's not the same.
Nobody has detect magic cantrip? Well, what casters do we have?
I think we have some conversation on the road here.
Gonna brute force it.
I'm a warlock, but my
This
interests
party
are
has some holes,
mild.
and I'm really looking forward to throwing you guys into some challenges.
Literally
Exploiting our weaknesses.
Literally, my cantrips are 50 Shades of Grey and Basic Instinct. That's all I tell you.
Yeah, well, those are the important ones.
Yep.
Uh,
True.
Yeah. So vines come into play.
Okay.
I've studied Entangled. It's written right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you can take another pass at the beach, but you guys don't turn up anything new. As far as like equipment to carry, or equipment supplies to like carry rations and the various things you've found, I don't think it's like wildly out there that you guys have found. Maybe not like proper packs for wilderness excursions, but you know the kind of like slip cover that a bedroll goes in. You can toss some shit in there, and like it's thin, but
Do we have any rope left over from the
rope.
ship?
I would say
Wreckage.
you've been able to find rope. Sections of the ship that are tangled up. It'll
Okay.
take a minute, and you could have done it last night to like cut that off and have
I'll
it.
tie like 100 pounds of supplies together and put it into like a shoulder.
Yeah.
Like something I can drop quickly if I need to beat someone to death.
Yeah. Do you want to give me I don't know, a sleight of hand, unless you have something else for kind of
Not at all.
making
I would
this?
like to ask someone who feels that they're more competent at tying
I have
Clever.
+3 for sleight of hand.
clever knots. Please, I yield.
Never mind. 11 + 3, 14.
14. You kind of the best you can rig up is you take a relatively intact barrel, and you really just, without any like cause or purpose, you just lash the thing over and over and like tie it amongst itself till it's like pretty secure and not
Okay.
going anywhere,
Good enough.
and then like sash it over so it's like a
I'm tying
yeah.
him like into it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want it.
No,
to
he's not.
permanently attach.
Yeah, I would
I
say
want
that's
something I can drop.
Okay.
yeah. So you tie, it's just like around and around and then through and around
Good
and
enough.
through this one, and then eventually you make kind of a pretty big
Yeah.
loop.
A
That he could
100-pound
slip
man
over.
purse of food.
Yeah. So I mean, you're just walking with
Yeah.
a barrel lashed to your back, essentially. It's
No,
like
I'm
a
carrying enough for
backpack.
myself and several others.
Yeah. So however you guys stack that, food, basic camping supplies, if you want broken wood from the things you found for firewood, things like that, basic equipment, and you all again are like absolutely equipped up to your starting equipment without a problem. So as it comes up with like, oh, do we have this? I'll be like, maybe, but for the most part, you guys should be good. And you can all have sort of minor versions of what Calagon is lugging around, but you're able, between repurposing pieces of cloth and bags and other things you found, you have enough to keep you guys going for a couple days journey. Anything else you want to do before you leave the beach? Headed to Eastern Port, it sounds like. Does anyone want to? Did I misread that? Any resistance?
No strong feelings. I do wave goodbye to the wreckage of the ship
Yeah.
before leaving.
Yeah. Well, then what's everyone's thoughts as we take off? You shamble up kind of maybe a 6-foot drop where the hillside just cuts off, where the tide has made this sort of severe edge. So you all kind of pull your way up that and look back over the beach and about to move forward into the tree line. Where is everyone's head at?
Sadness
Yeah. For
That's-
what?
for my loot.
Yeah.
I swore an oath to be the best bard ever with that loot.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
I'm real bummed.
Yeah. Yeah. What's kind of is the mission over? Are you reassessing? How do you kind of move forward from that?
Move forward Pretty much by promising myself that I'll come back for the loot.
Yeah.
I will not give up on it. It is the Wilson to my Tom, Hanks? Yeah. Yeah.
You got it. Got
Tom
it.
Hanks. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. As you're all leaving, Lackoff is like, yeah, good thing we got moving. High tide comes in here around, in the afternoon. I don't know how you all didn't drown, but in a couple of days, this stuff is going to be gone. There's going to be nothing left. So really make sure you took everything that you want. And you all
Yeah.
Are you okay, son?
Yeah, fine. I'm good. Thank you.
Lost your loot and you got sun zoned.
I can make it work.
I'd say, Saul, it goes sort of like ferret-like, nice, long and noodly, and has been hanging out with you, just being friendly, on your shoulder, around your neck, just
like,
there.
Yeah, I'm just like softly petting him,
Yeah.
comforting.
Yeah. You hear him snicker every time you make an advance at Lackoff, but other than that,
I can respect that.
Get bullied by a ferret.
yeah. Well, and anyone else, any last minute thoughts before we head off?
Are we leaving anything?
I mean, you're leaving a lot. There's, lots of broken things. There's those 2 dead bodies of nobles that you just stripped and left there. They smell. They are waterlogged and bloated, and you guys it's no worries. But the main
Did
things.
anyone check for ID on those guys?
You guys stripped
And did they
them.
look
No,
like any of us?
there's no sort of ID or
Okay.
anything.
I wouldn't imagine there would be, but
Yeah, maybe John recognized them, but not personally. Just
No.
oh yeah, that was one of the humans that was there.
Right.
But
Yeah.
they weren't high rollers. You didn't have anything particular to do with them. But everyone ate their meal in the same place at least once.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've left boxes. There's probably a few more crates of food than you guys could carry. But you're headed to a town. You're good for a couple days. Lackoff says, maybe it's 2-day journey at the most. Yeah. What you're leaving behind is, more junk, more bulk stuff. I don't know if it could really particularly help you if that's what you were thinking in this moment.
If I was leaving anything, or if we left anything important.
Yeah.
Well, I'm feeling a little scatterbrained.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to not run into, realistically, too much trouble. And that's all I can think about.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you guys, head off into the late morning, kind of hooking your way west around the southern coast there. He doesn't take you too far into the tree line. I mean, it's, as far as you can tell, it's normal shit. It's plants, it's moss, it's rocks, it's dirt, it's bark and leaves. But, none of the trees look particularly right. You see that something... Actually, if anyone wants to give me a nature check as I'm doing this. 12.
8.
Oh.
8. Also.
4.
16 plus...
13.
What the fuck is nature? 15.
15. Yeah, Oberon, you sort of notice that... because you're a fate creature.
I sure am.
And your family came to kind of this realm not terribly long ago,
Nope.
in your lifetime, if I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
when you were young, but
Yep.
yeah. So, you know the sort of wild energy of what it's like to be in you sense some of that here in the trees.
Gosh.
Right, they're not kind of that material plane, we're just kind of doing things to natural optimal path here. You notice twists in some of the branches, trees taking on sort of wonky shapes for no discernible reason, and even all the way up to the coast, you guys are maybe only 500, 600, 700 feet into the forest. It's old growth all the way to the edge, which makes like absolutely no fucking sense.
Right.
That it's not kind of breaking down that shrubbing of plants that would subsist better next to like a place that floods probably often.
Right.
So there's something kind of wonky here and something like unnaturally like verdant about the area you're walking through. Not in like an overt way, but you're able to notice some of these things. The rest of you, Lakoth is going like full scoutmaster. He's talking about the tree and this does that and don't eat that and that moss is good for that and telling you about the different types of rocks and shit and like I don't know where everyone's interest is, but he's having a time. You know, he hasn't been like the most looking for company, but now that you're all here, he's very friendly. He's very friendly. And you get the sense that this is just him. He's just doing that whether you were here or not. He's externalizing all the internal thoughts, and he's just making his way.
What is the temperature?
Temperature, you know, it's pretty temperate. I would say like between upper 50, mid 60. You guys are on the coast, so it's a little windy, even into this tree line. You guys are getting some a breeze in here, which is pretty surprising, coming from the ocean over back to where you were going. But it's comfortable. It's comfortable. I would say, as far as the season is concerned, it's pretty similar to what it was back home. Kind of that like late spring, mid autumn kind of comfortable, temperate area. Nothing like no severe heat, no severe cold. Come at a nice time. Good time to plan a visit.
Can I play a very depressing ballad as we are walking through?
Oh, please.
Wish you would.
Yeah, roll a performance check.
Not good. Actually not too bad. 10.
10. So, and here's my question.
Yes.
Do you want to just kind of be ambiently playing, or do you want to use this as an opportunity to give some of your companions Bardic?
I would like to give my companions Bardic.
Okay. How many, I don't know what your spell slots are. I believe Bardic counts as a first level spell. Yeah. So how many? 1, 2, 3, and who do you want to give some Bardic inspiration to?
Let's see. I'll go with Calagon, and say Juniper.
Okay, and since it's our first pass here, I'll go ahead and I'll just read it off for everybody because we have 2 bards in the party. Guess who? I bet you can't. So Bardic Inspiration, you inspire others through words or music. So whoever has Bardic Inspiration, as a bonus action in combat, you can, this is the cast of Bardic Inspiration. We're casting this spell ahead of time. For the next, it's 10 minutes in combat, but, we'll say it can last for a while. You guys are kind of queuing these things up. Whoever has Bardic can roll, I believe your Bardic die is a D6 at this level, at level 3? It's not a D4, is it? We can double check that. But you roll an extra die to an attack roll or saving throw or ability check, and you add that to your D20 plus your skill. So who has a Bardic Inspiration sitting on them ready to go? It was Calagon and who else?
Calagon and Juniper.
Juniper. So if you want to just mark somewhere in your notes or on your sheet that you have Bardic Inspiration, we will, it'll come up when it comes up.
It is a D6, by the way.
A D6, so you'll be able to add a roll of a D6 to some sort of check or ability. As we're walking, is there any other sort of, you guys are getting back on your feet. Some of us are dangerous. Some of us are used to being out on their own. You guys have some time to kind of prep, get your dagger in the right place. Get your shields up, right? Get your protection up, and you're feeling more yourself. Do we have any other these sorts of things that happen as you guys are walking?
throw my shield up too.
Okay. And that's a second level spell?
First level.
First level shield. That's a reaction if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
Never mind.
So I'll say, you can absolutely, Juniper's expressed a lot of vigilance. So if and when your shield comes up as a spell cast, I'll give you advantage on your roll to counter something or to resist something. There anyone else that wants to prep and put their thoughts into your character motivation into ability terms, as we're kind of doing now, Kels?
I don't have a shield. However,
Yeah.
I do go inconspicuously behind the big armored guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that actually raises an interesting question. What's our marching order? Because Lackoff is for sure out front. He's just going.
Point formation
trotting
with
on.
him at the front.
So, the trail is not particularly wide that you're on, and calling it a trail is it seems unlikely that a lot of people travel this way, so the trail sometimes becomes darting between trees. Sometimes it's one person wide, sometimes there's enough for a cluster of you to kind of move together. So kind of where you would average it out be, are you, do you stick to trying to make a line formation or do you make a clump?
So I know I'm not in the back because I don't want to get plucked if someone attacks us. Not too far in the front just in case someone attacks us. So I'm either a couple people behind the front or a couple people above the last person in the back.
Yeah. It's kind of in the middle-ish, yeah.
Not the complete middle because
Yeah.
I don't want to get plucked.
Yeah,
But-
again, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're in the middle of a middle second of a
Middle.
half. Yeah.
Exactly.
Who's kind of up front? Who sticks close to Lackoff aside from Kels?
I want to say that I'm behind both Lackoff and Calagon because they're the two biggest people.
I would prefer to be in front so
Yeah.
I can track. If I follow somebody else, they'll just step on whatever I might have seen.
You're getting the brunt of Calagon's Scoutmaster spiel.
Lackoff Scoutmaster.
Yes. Whatever I said, not that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ignore him. That's no problem.
Yeah. You don't engage him, just full let it wash over you?
No, I don't give a shit. I'm on point in a jungle patrol. I'm looking for something to jump out and try to kill us.
Cool.
And I'm looking for tracks on the ground, signs of anything other than Lackoff, because that's the only entity I know should be in this area. If I see some other footprint, I'm going to stop everybody and take a hard look at it.
Gotcha.
And I'll use the bardic inspiration when that happens. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And John, are you
at
the back?
I'm
or-
definitely at the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you trailing or are you keeping it close?
I'm kind of I'll follow close. And then I'll just sort of stop and stare and get really dreamy and start to think about all the schemes I'm
Can
gonna
I
do.
get a roll to perceive that or not?
Yeah, roll
Wait,
with
I just wanna-
disadvantage.
That's happening.
I'm
Roll-
saying,
yeah.
Then they're moving forward and I'm like, oh shit, and I catch up.
Yeah,
Then
that's what
stare
I
and
want to
dream,
catch.
I'm like, oh
man.
shit.
Roll with disadvantage.
4. Yeah, 4.
4.
Plus 4 is 8, but yeah.
For perception.
To notice
Yeah.
the back of the column is doing
Yeah, no, you're
doing
totally clocked in. You've got no no peripheral awareness behind you.
Okay.
None of these people seem particularly you're all on the same path, right? And you're looking out for them.
Yeah, but the last person in line is who the mountain lion takes.
I'll stay near
You're in
the
a
back,
strange
maybe
land.
not behind
Maybe there's
you,
no
but
mountain.
You're in a
probably
strange
front of you
land
and keeping an
and-
eye, not noticing you getting lost,
Right.
but keeping a general eye that there isn't a mountain lion.
Yeah.
Just kind of like an occasional whistle. So
Yeah,
I can
just
catch up like a little, like a
if you
terrier.
really start to space, hey, bud.
Yeah, that's
Just
what I
verify
need.
that John is still there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Not being stuffed
And
under
making sure
a
that
rock
nothing is
somewhere.
creeping up behind you.
that's helpful. Thank you.
But you fully have a voice in your ear in an alien landscape. You're got no capacity for that. And I think you probably hear that once or twice behind you and you let that part of your mind relax that they've got it. And focus yourself elsewhere.
I'll tell him I appreciate it that he's just being polite, but he doesn't have to talk the whole time.
No, it's no trouble.
No,
I'm
really.
familiar with this area.
No, I mean, as helpful as it is, it might actually be welcome to have silence too. A mix of both.
Well, you got to talk to the kid over there.
Who?
Gestures to to Oberon, who's been playing a
Playing a
sad tune.
little sad ditty.
Yeah,
Did
but-
we resolve? What was your performance check?
That was a 10, I think.
A
Yeah.
10. It sounds better than a middle schooler.
It's fine.
You've also heard better on like a street corner
It's
of
like
someone just playing for
Local
fun.
emo band.
Yeah, yeah.
For,
It's
for some reason, I find the lo-fi jungle beats more helpful than the
Yeah.
just random.
It's like that droning frequency that actually helps you lock in.
Yeah.
For sure.
Versus the up and down of lack off going, oh,
Yeah.
and that, and that, and that.
I've been clocking in when he says something is edible, and then everything else gets tuned down.
There you go. The important shit.
Exactly. Like, oh, that's a nice moss. Don't give a shit. That you can eat. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
What am I pairing though?
Yeah. Well, the sun gets high through the trees. You see kind of the shadow through the leaves stop slanting, kind of take a more vertical approach. And you guys walk off into the afternoon. I mean, Lakoth seems comfortable. He says you're making good time. And you all come upon... you see a clearing ahead of you, right? To not towards the beach, but kind of west. And you guys all emerge from the trees. It's a little bright for a moment, and the first thing you all smell from that wind coming down is tilled earth and kind of the sweet smell of carrots and vegetables wafting towards you. And ahead of you, you all see a sort of small, maybe 3/4 acre farm that's perfectly square plot of land that's been worked, various vegetables growing, and just beyond that is a house. And in front of the house you see a proper, I wouldn't call it a road, but more path-like than road, stretching out ahead of you. But that's on the other side of this sort of fenced-in field. And I would say that the house and the field itself, the trees are cleared maybe 200 feet in all directions from them in sort of this big, open, circular area. And you all kind of walk into that, and Lakoth says, oh yeah, there's the trail. And makes his way.
Okay. Ask him if this farm is the dangerous people he mentioned.
No, absolutely not. This is run by the Freet family, supply a lot of the produce to Solkard and Easton. Small settlements, nice people. No, I pass by every once in a while. No problems there. You all follow?
Can we roll insight?
Yeah,
Honest
please,
truth?
by all means. Yeah. 14.
One.
So, okay, with a 1, it's a house, which means creature comforts, even a farm. And the ideas in your head are firing off, and you kind of quicken your pace, and you walk 2 steps ahead of Lakoth.
Gotcha.
You're not worried about, knowing it's house, like shit, people.
Gotcha.
You can be seen, you can relax. What else did we kind of land with?
7.
7,
5.
5, 14,
6.
6,
18.
So the 14 and the 18, I'll hold up for a second. The 3 of you, it's a little weird that there's no like proper path you've been taking. You get a sense that he might have been bullshitting you this whole time, but not in a malicious way. Just in a way of he's kind of doing his own thing. He totally like did mean it as a bit of a joke. With a 14 and an 18, he sounded genuinely surprised. There was sort of an undercurrent to that, where he had just been weaving his own way through, and this is sort of a windfall to come across this farm. that now it seems like you see the proper path. He mentioned, oh yeah, like, you know, they're good people. They trade with Easton. Things are about to pick up in an effective way on your journey, and he might be a little more kind of like airheaded than you thought originally.
Well, I already believed that he was insane, so
Yeah.
Cosine.
Yeah. Well, you know, you all make your way. You get closer to the farm, unless anybody like doesn't for any reason. But you guys have seen no sign that there's danger or anything in particular. So if you all continue with him, yeah.
I just let him walk a few paces ahead and turn and check on John and Kels.
Yeah.
If you need to steal something, just don't get caught. Okay?
I've never stolen anything in my life.
Great. Stick to that story.
And John.
That was totally believable.
John can't even claim that. Honestly,
It just feels wrong. He's
it
more
really
honest than
does.
that.
Stealing is one thing, lying is another.
Right.
If it's like a head of cabbage, if it's like a fruit.
Like
Okay.
maybe in the moment to pull something off, but like you're proud of who you are.
Oh yeah, I'm a proud thief.
Yeah, and Oberon, you know, you're kind of like double time, like keeping yourself together, but you're making a slightly faster pace.
Yep.
And I want everyone to go ahead and roll me perception.
22.
22.
One. Once
14.
again.
I finally got my one good roll.
That's it. That's all you get.
Yev, you notice something first.
Mhm.
Familiar.
Oh boy.
We established one event in your backstory. Is all I'm saying. Yeah, you smell blood and death.
Great.
Now that you all have gotten closer through the clearing, kind of mixed with that sweet smell, that earthy smell, kind of covered it up. But now that you're closer, you smell something bad.
Am I close enough to grab the one who's furthest, who's wandering blindly forward?
I'd say, you know, if you're noticing it first, you can quick step and grab him. And,
Yeah, before anyone has time to perceive anything, like quick, frantic hand gesture, just grab.
Just grab me by the horns.
Yeah.
Oberon, how do you respond to just hand on you clamped on your shoulder?
Violently. I don't like it. I'm kicking and I'm screaming because I don't know.
So
When
toddler
Oberon
at Target.
screams,
Yep.
is it a goat bray
Oh,
or is
again.
it?
It's a loud goat bray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Because even if that's not honest, that's the most attention grabbing.
Yeah, exactly.
So Oberon starts braying.
Can I change my grab to a muffle?
Yeah. Roll dexterity. Do you resist this, Oberon?
That was a 1!
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me.
I got a 1, doesn't even need to.
Oh, with a net, yeah, because we got to see how bad it is. Go ahead and roll me a d20. We'll just take it from there.
7.
A 7. Yeah, it's
It's kind of a struggle.
Calagon. You've been trained in some physical arts. You know, it's not your forte, but your people, you know, aren't shy from melee combat, right? You've been around warriors. You know, you've gotten sort of that basic. You can throw a punch. You can tackle someone. This is the most embarrassing display that you've ever seen. Yev is like up on his back. He's like talking, and like it's just louder and louder. And I think he throws Yev prone, so you're down on your back.
Great.
And like you land with like a pretty loud thud, and the wind gets knocked out. You know, it agitates some wounds.
I'd
that
look
you have.
around to the others who still seem to be coherent, and I say, I think we may have been hit with some sort of confusion spell. They don't normally act like that.
And with
That
that,
was very sudden and random.
you guys kind of hear some shouts, some starts at a distance, and from the fields, bordering the edge of the field, are you know, like the like sort of half fence kind of grate that they'll grow like grapes or tomatoes on. a head peeking out from behind that, and you guys just make out sort of like this earthy brown, rough skin. You guys are maybe 500 feet away, because they're at the edge of the, if you can imagine, they're at the edge of the field closer to the house, right? So they're a good distance away. And this creature pops its head back, and all goes silent.
So I rolled a dirty 20. Does that change
On
anything at all?
on perception,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I would say on perception, a 20. What was the
21.
what was it?
21.
21. Yeah, you guys hear the two of you hear movement as well, right? You didn't notice the smell right away, but you hear it. You're not certain, but it sounds like it might only be 2 or 3 people that you hear moving around. You weren't able to make out the voices. It's in a language you don't understand, but you think there's probably only 2 or 3 people.
I whispered to the gang, I think I might have heard something, some people.
Yeah.
I can't understand it. I can't understand what they're saying to me.
Guys, I think they're gonna try to eat us.
Yeah. How does everyone respond? What do you do?
Can I listen to see what language they're speaking?
Yeah.
If they're minotaurs, then I've got them
I
covered.
was gonna say yeah. What languages do you speak, and/or are you using a spell or ability here?
I speak Common and Sylvan, and I am not using a spell ability.
You do not recognize this dialect or this particular language, whatever it is, but it sounds like they're speaking with Sylvan roots
Gotcha.
to their words.
Okay. Can I roll for like getting a rough approximation of like I took this language in high school like 50 years ago? Like.
Yeah, let's
Donde está la biblioteca?
yeah, no, like
They want to
absolutely.
kill us or they want to go to the library.
Very similar emotions.
I would
Exactly.
say that you could roll just a flat intelligence check and add your
that's
intelligence modifier to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
As that's
it's
happening,
absolutely.
can I use this time to stand up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad. 13.
13. You catch some words that sound familiar, but they're not any pieces of language with any significance to them.
Gotcha.
You cannot make a sentence and where those words fall in a sentence. If they were words you understood or variations on words you understood, they don't mean the same thing.
Okay.
But you are now like extremely confident that this is a Sylvan dialect or language.
Gotcha.
Other initial reactions here. You guys are kind of in the middle of the
What's
forest.
Lakoff doing?
You've been sitting there. What's Lakoff doing? Lakoff, through your fight and stuff, he's drawn his sword.
Okay.
And he's taking kind of a slow walk. Right, if you're coming at a rectangle, right, of the field, he's kind of taking a slow walk perpendicular to the path you guys were on, where you would head to the road. He's moving around that edge closest to you all, or moving towards it to kind of get a look instead of walking down the thing where you saw the guy's head peek out.
So I assume that we all stopped. Is he moving without us?
He's moving without you. He's moving slowly, even for him, and it's dead silent. And he pulls. It's not quite a broadsword. It's definitely bigger than a longsword. It fits his frame. It's maybe a longsword built to Calagon's physicality, if we were to call it that.
Bastard sword.
What was that?
Bastard sword.
Not quite there, a little less unwieldy, where it's not like, okay, you're just using the weight of the thing, but it's built to his side, but he wields it as you would a longsword with a two-handed grip as he's kind of walking without you. Does anybody want to roll perception on that? Or
Sure.
roll ahead with an insight or anything?
What does aberrant mind do? It's a psychic skill. What does it do?
Say it one more time.
Aberrant mind.
Let me double check our abilities. What is it? Aberrant mind. At first level, you get a bunch of spells. That is your subclass. So you get your psionic spells at first and third level. That probably makes up your spell list.
Okay.
And that is your connection to your to the source of your power. So what's everyone up to? What's everyone
Perception 17.
doing? Perception 17?
Perception 9.
9.
Insight 17.
Insight 17.
Got perception 17 as well.
Perception 19.
Yeah. So highest perception is a 19. We also have an insight check. Did you roll higher than a 19?
Got 3.
Okay, and who had the 19? And insight was Kels. So on an insight, and I'll let the two of you act first, because you've sort of seen this come to a rationalization quicker than the rest of the party after the two of you get into your immediate conflict there. Calagon, you see someone ready to fight. He left the party. He doesn't know who or what you are from sort of a logical standpoint. He's just moving ahead to handle things on his own.
But what's he reacting to?
He's
I
reacting
didn't
to
smell the death or hear the other person. I just saw the party break out in a fist fight.
Absolutely. He that is not clear to you.
Okay.
But he's moving ahead like he's ready to kill something.
Okay.
And he's leaving you all behind for
Okay.
whatever tactical purpose that is. And on so yeah, you see that, you get that impression. Insight, you kind of get a similar vibe, not as much detail, but this is somebody that is doing what they do very well and doesn't want interference. So the two of you can react to that as you.
I dropped the food bag
Yeah.
right with us, take out the great club, and head on a swivel. And let the crazy old man go do whatever he's going to do. I don't know what the fuck he's freaking out about.
You stay kind of like readied. And,
I'm just
yeah.
assuming that he's right and there's some danger, and I'm just going to stay with the group and
Yeah.
see what happens.
In
But I'm
Kels.
looking in all directions constantly.
Yeah.
I kind of situate myself in the middle of the group and make myself look smaller so that I'm less visible.
He did just drop a large barrel. You can kind of...
The barrel isn't going to protect me from whatever those things are.
Totally. So you're pulling back. Okay. So if you're all hanging back here, Lakoth steps ahead. Calagon, you can roll me, I would say a straight perception. You being kind of readied gives you advantage. I would say out here you guys would have disadvantage to what's going on, but you can roll me a straight perception.
Okay. 23.
Lakoth slinks ahead, and Saul hops from Oberon when you guys started fighting and trails and runs with him up onto his shoulder, and you start to see some movement all around the tree line. You can't make out any particular figures, but bodies have started sliding into position.
How many? Minimum.
Minimum 6. That is behind you and to your sides, but keep in mind there's that field in front of you, semi-obscuring the boundary of the woods and the house. So you have maybe 70% of a circle, 70% of a radius that you can see, and you're clocking 6 all around you.
How close is the nearest one to us?
The nearest one to you, there's one behind that's a good 150 feet.
Okay. As soon as we can, I'll move that direction.
Well, with that, I think we are moving into combat, and we are at a pretty good time here. I think we can pick up next week with initiative rolls and combat.
Okay.
What do you all think?
Sure.
Okay with that.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Well, that is episode 2 of Greater Shores. Thank you to all of our players. Thank you to everyone watching. This has been a treat to GM for you all.
The internet and Morris died about an hour ago, but we're still recording.
Excellent. Well, to you who've made it this long. And I think we're good.
Total death.